Welcome to From the PressBox. The NFL season's almost to its conclusion. The NBA season's just heating up. And bowl season is so close I can smell it. We have all that and more coming up. From the PressBox starts in 3, 2, 1.
Outlet on the run, 2-on-1. Green the finish. Wow! Later to goal, gets the shot back.
These fans remember where they were at and what happened today. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to From the PressBox. I'm Lauren Kruger alongside Jamal Williams. Jamal, there are so many things going on in this big world of sports that I don't know where to begin today's show.
Well, I'm going to leave it up to you because I don't know either.
Let's see. Twitter is buzzing. Let's start there.
Oh, that is a good one. Marcus Vick, Michael Vick's younger brother, tweeted during the Eagles' recent loss to the Saints, "Please trade my brother. We're requesting out of Philly. Please, please, please."
A desperate Vick.
Desperate.
The trade demand tweet was part of a series that Marcus Vick sent during the Eagles-Saints game. He ranted about the Eagles' offensive line, saying that any quarterback would fail if they played behind that unit.
I can't even argue with him here because that offensive line has been terrible. If you can't protect Michael Vick, who's one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the NFL, how could you protect anyone else?
Exactly. You know, Vick is a lefty, so his blind side is out now, and that cannot be good. So they definitely got quarterback issues there.
Yeah, they have problems. Well, since we're talking about the NFL, let's stick on the topic with the guy who's been setting the league on fire the past few weeks. You can't talk about the NFL without mentioning his name, Doug Martin.
Or, as some people know him, the muscle hamster. He's having a great season so far. It's just a shame that he does not have a good nickname to go along with it.
This interesting nickname came from some of his offensive linemen at Boise State and has managed to stick.
When Martin has been asked about the nickname, he said, quote, "It has to be the worst nickname ever."
Well, it may not be the best nickname, like those of the Galloping Ghost Red Grange or the Nigerian Nightmare Christian Okoye. It looks like it's just catchy enough to stick.
Well, switching gears now to college football, there is some big news about the Champions Bowl. The New Orleans has been selected as the site for the bowl game and is rumored to serve as a site for the semifinal round of the new playoff system.
In other words, the Sugar Bowl is adding a Big 12 tie-in. The Sugar Bowl beat out the Cotton Bowl and the Chick-fil-A Bowl to grab a spot.
But fans of the Cotton and Chick-fil-A Bowls should not be too upset, as they are still expected to be among the 6 rotating semifinal sites.
Staying on the topic of college football, Washington State University leading receiver Marquise Wilson has been indefinitely suspended by head coach Mike Leach.
Rumors have begun to surface that Wilson had walked out of conditioning and subsequently quit the team. It is unclear whether or not that is the case.
But one thing that is clear, this will be a huge blow to Wazoo. Wilson is a 6'4" junior who leads the team in receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
He is definitely a huge asset to that team. But speaking of special assets, the Hornets coach, Monty Williams, who has made a name for himself as being the best young coach, one of the best young coaches in the NBA, has found himself in hot water with the league.
He has been fined $25,000 for his comments critical of the league's concussion policy.
The situation came about after #1 overall pick Anthony Davis suffered a concussion after taking an elbow from teammate Austin Rivers.
Davis went on to miss the next game, and Williams said he got touched up a little bit last night. That happens a lot in basketball. It's just they treat everyone now like they have on white gloves and pink drawers. It's getting old. It's just the way the league is now.
Pink underwear. Simply, Williams was wrong, and it could cost him. The point of the league's concussion policy is to protect players from themselves and from teams pressuring them to play.
Well, Williams did play in the NBA, but he has to understand it was a different era and concussion understanding was at a different point then. Well, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll have Blueprint. Stay tuned.
Austin Rivers plays just like his mom.
He plays recklessly.
In your face.
That's how Anthony Davis caught that elbow.
It was a nasty one, too.
It's no fairy tale that the right fit means everything, especially when it comes to car seats. Always choose one that's the right fit for your child's age and size.
That does make a difference.
To find out more, visit safercar.gov/therightseat.
All eyes on us. All eyes on us.
I wanna scream and shout and let it all out. And scream and shout and let it out. We saying oh, we oh, we oh, we oh. We saying oh, we oh, we oh, we oh.
Brush, brushy, brush.
brush, brushy brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Welcome back to From the Press Box. There's been a lot of arguing going on in NFL circles about who has the best defense so far this season. Now, my personal opinion, it has to go to a team that's forcing turnovers left and right. They're probably going to end the season setting a new record for defensive touchdowns stored. They have arguably the Defensive Player of the Year on that roster, and they have a guy who has as many Defensive Player of the Week honors as the great Richard Dent. If you don't know who I'm talking about yet, I'm talking about the Bears. So, let's start off with the secondary. The secondary has been playing lights out so far. Tim Jennings, he's picking off passes thrown his way. He has 6 so far this season, which is close to the top of the NFL. And then on the other side, we have Charles Peanut Tillman. This guy is arguably the defensive MVP of the league. He's picking off passes. He's forcing fumbles. This guy looks good so far. Teams don't want to throw his way. But if you want to beat the Bears, you're going to have to. They're allowing almost 8 yards per completion when thrown at them. But you have to remind your receivers, after you catch the ball, hey, stop fighting for some of those extra yards and just take it and go out of bounds. Look at the greatest show on turf wide receivers. Those guys, 100 yards receiving, they get out of bounds, still have clean white jerseys at the end of the game. You got to know when to just give up. Because Charles Tillman, he'll take the ball back after you catch it. So you got to be careful of that. Now let's go to the real strength of this defense, the front 7. You're thinking about guys like Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Nick Roach, Henry Melton. Fierce defense. And I almost forgot the great Julius Peppers. You can't forget him, especially when we're talking about a blueprint to beat them. He wreaks so much havoc in the backfield. He's a beast at pass rushing. But you can run the ball his way. I'm telling you, you're going to have to run some draw plays his way, let him get upfield, and go in that hole. When you're running at that left tackle, they're letting you get almost 5 yards per carry. The defense can be susceptible and ran on. But when you get to that second level of those linebackers, Urlacher and Briggs, they're going to stop you. They're #1 in the league about not allowing second-level yards. So you have to understand, once the play is over, the play is over. Now, I want you to remember, we're talking about a blueprint to beat this team. The real key here is not to be greedy. They're going to come out, play their base defense, and give you some things. But they take the ball back when you take those big shots down the field. And we're talking about a way to beat them. Has anybody heard of the Packers? They did beat them earlier this year. We're going to take a break. From the Press Box, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
We are rolling.
All right, Mama's going to bring you home. Mama's going to bring you home. No.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
Let's see what you can do. Let's go.
Search We Can for ideas on how to get healthy together.
Protect your stand.
You got
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Welcome back to From the Press Box and into the battle zone, or what we call it here at FTP, Hurry Up Offense. First question for you, Jamal. There are many Heisman candidates, but who is your favorite?
My favorite right now, I have to go with Manti Te'o from Notre Dame. This linebacker, he's setting the game on fire. Look at what he's doing for his team. He already has 5 interceptions this year. I'm looking for him to do something that hasn't been done since Charles Woodson did it. He's going to win the Heisman, a defensive player winning the Heisman. Sue's come close. Tyrann Mathieu come close. But I'm looking for Manti Te'o to take it. 5 interceptions, 87 total tackles. He's a leader on this team. He's a good character guy. He's going to take it this year.
Okay. I got to go with somebody who I believe is better, okay? First of all, the history of the Heisman suggests that you've got to be in BCS contention. And this is a team that's
Dame is.
Yes, and this is a team now that's undefeated. K-State's Colin Klein. Okay, this season he's had over 1,800 yards. He's had 12 TDs, only 2 interceptions, and his completion rate is over 70%.
Yeah.
So he's ready, and he's at the top of ESPN's expert polls. And if you've got those guys betting on you, then that says a lot.
Hey, ESPN doesn't know everything. He's good.
That's true, but he's proven himself.
I really think it's going to go to a defensive player this year, but if it had to go to an offensive player, I'd have to go with Ken John Barner in Oregon. But
both are good.
That's another conversation.
Both are good.
You're right. They're all good. Okay, next question. The NBA season has started, and they have a lot of teams that are looking really good so far. Who is your team that's going to sneak into the playoffs this year?
I'm going to go with a team that is had an edge now that they've acquired this new talent. I've got to go with the Houston Rockets. Rockets.
Oh, okay.
Omar Assis is averaging 14.3 rebounds and 1.7 blocks. He's an intimidating force inside with that defense. Now, Harden, he did well in OKC, and he's continuing in Houston, averaging 35 points per game. And then the ever-exciting Jeremy Lin, and his averaging 15 points and 7.3 assists a game. So these guys have that talent, and I think they're going to sneak their way there.
Lauren, you and the Houston Rockers are rocking me to sleep. I'm sorry. They're not. I see Harden carrying that team. I don't think it's going to be enough to get them all the way to the playoffs. Lynn, please. I'm going to have to go with the Hornets. This is a young team. They're playing ball the right way. They're focusing on defense, and on offense, they're putting up points. Look at them. They played without #1 pick Anthony Davis. They're still playing without Eric Gordon with his mysterious knee injury. They play without Austin Rivers. This is a good team, and they're going to be trouble come playoff time. They're going to be tough out.
My New Orleans native.
Hey.
Okay, let me go to the next question.
It's all right when I'm right.
No. What NFL team under 500 do you believe will get a playoff spot?
I'm going to stay in the Bayou. I have to go with I have to go with the New Orleans Saints. I said it when we did Fix It or Leave It a couple of weeks ago. This is a team that when they start stringing wins together, teams are going to fear them. Their offense is finally starting to click. They found Chris Ivory wherever he was hiding on the bench, and he's got the running game going. Mark Ingram's starting to wake up a little bit in the running game. They got something. Now Drew Brees is throwing the ball to those receivers. They're catching. Colston's awake. Let's go. And the defense, they have a complex system with Steve Spagnuolo, and they're starting to figure the whole thing out. By the end of the season, they're going to be stringing more wins together because that defense, they're going to be good. I'm telling you, they're getting to the ball now, but they're still thinking about it. A couple of weeks by, oh, yeah, it's going to be on.
Okay, well, I'm going to make you happy. I'm going to go with someone in your division.
If it ain't the Saints, it ain't going to make me happy.
I'm going to go with the guy by the name of Josh Freeman, who plays for the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Child, please.
No, listen. Early this season, they were 1-4. That's how they started. In the past 4 games, they've been 3-1.
Okay.
That's a significant improvement.
You're right.
So they've been winning here.
Yeah.
And on the board in those past 4 games, they've put up at least 28 points.
Okay.
Josh Freeman has been dismantling defense.
I wouldn't call it
yes, he has.
No.
He's been dismantling defense.
He's been throwing
put up
to Vincent
11.
Jackson.
He's put up 11 TDs in those past.
How many of them have been to Vincent Jackson?
4 games. It doesn't matter. They count in those past 4 games. They've moved up 8 spots on the power rankings too. Let me just add that. Let me just add that for you.
That's a young team, and they're playing well. But, child, please, they ain't gonna get the playoffs.
I'd expect that from a Saints guy like yourself. I'd expect that.
Josh Freeman ain't doing nothing but what Phillip Rivers used to be. I'm gonna drop back, and I'm gonna throw it up, and Vincent Jackson just happens to come down with it. Hey, well, I'm letting you know what it is. I've watched them. I watch them over and over, week in and week out, and I ain't seen nothing that wows me.
Sure.
All right, last question. Who will be the most electric basketball player in college this year?
The Box.
The Box? What Box?
Nerlens Noel. Kentucky? Yeah. Okay, this guy is good. In high school, this guy averaged 12.6 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, and 3.9 blocks. So he's ready, and he's going to do that very same thing that Anthony Davis was able to do for them at that center position.
He's going to do the same thing Anthony Davis. Girl, Anthony Davis was special. The Box, he's good, but he ain't Anthony Davis.
And that's understandable, but he's going to be his successor, and he's going to do well at that position. He's going to do enough for that team, which is what Anthony Davis did in the previous season.
I know you love Coach Calipari.
I do.
I know you loved Anthony Davis.
I
but
do.
They got other schools besides Kentucky out there.
And I'm sure that's who you're going to pick. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Have you heard of Purdue? Have you heard of Glenn Big Dog Robinson that came out of there? He went #1 overall in the draft. Have you heard of him? Well, his son is back. His son is in college now. 36-inch vertical. He's going to Michigan. Glenn Robinson III. He can get to the hoop. He can take you off the dribble, and he can finish with authority at the rim.
Really?
Authority.
Head nod, okay.
36-inch vertical. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be electric. He's going to be fun to watch. And he'll be on top 10 lists all over the internet all year.
Okay. On that note, let's conclude this show.
Okay. All right. As always, you can check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/FromThePressBox. You can follow us on Twitter at FTP_tweets. And you can like us on Facebook.
And for this moment in sports history, in the year 1991, the NBA received big news. Magic Johnson announced that he had the virus that causes AIDS and that he would be retiring from the National Basketball Association. Once again, I'm Lauren Fluker.
And I'm Jamal Williams.
And this is
From the Press Box.
So when you committed to UK, you see your haircut, though.
I saw the haircut.
I like that.
I thought it was corny.
No, it was very nice. It was creative.
It was
When did you see that done before?
Hey,
that was creative.
Just because I can't think of someone that has done it
that
before
was
does
creative.
not mean
no one's
that,
done it before.
Hey,